राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranams, dear devotees. Thank you all for joining in for our Teachings of Lord Chaitanya study session. We are continuing from chapter number 29. There are 32 chapters in all, and then our next book is Krishna book. All right. I hope all of you are part of the festival group. We will sing 4 or 5 Vaishnava bhajans that we're going to meditate in the next 1 month. August 19, 26, 27 are the auspicious occasions of the appearance of Balaramji, the appearance of Lord Krishna, and appearance of Srila Prabhupada. 3 most important festival days are coming up. So let us prepare our consciousness by singing nice Vaishnava bhajans in glorification of Lord Balaram, Lord Krishna, and our dearest Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I hope all of you are part of the festival group. If not, write to me. In fact, in today's message also, I've shared the link to the WhatsApp group. So let's start with the prayer. Somagyanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रधायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरदुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं. हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपीश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते. तप्त काञ्चन गौरंगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं. हरिः ओं तत्सत्. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for joining in. Now we are on Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter number 29. Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadato sankirtanaikkabhitarau kamalayatakshav Vishwambarau dvijarau yugadharmapalau Vande jagat priyakarau karunaavatarau वंदे गुरूनीश भक्तानीशं मीशावतारकान् तत्प्रकाशं सतच्चक्ते कृष्ण चैतन्य सम्यकम्. वंदे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंदो सहोदितो गौरोदये पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौ छन्दौ तमोनुदौ यदद्वैतं ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्यस्य तनूभायात्मान्तर्यामि पुरुषो इति सोषांश विभवः षडैश्वर्यै पूर्णोऽस्ते भगवान् स स्वयं मयं न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्त्वं परमिह अनर्पितचरीं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्णः कलो समर्पयितुमुन्नतो जुलरसां स्वभक्ति श्रियम्. हरिः पुरुषसुन्दरद्युतिकदम्बसन्दीपितः सदा हृदयकन्दरे सुरतु वः शशिनन्दनः राधा कृष्णप्रणयविकृतिर्लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकात्मानाविभुवि पुरदेहभेदं गतौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रणमदना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावजुदी सुलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपं श्रीराधाया प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वा नैव स्वाध्यो येनाद्भुतमधिरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्यमनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावादः समजनी शशिगर्भसन्तो हरिन्दुः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Okay, so let's quickly go on to chapter number 29. Chapter 29 is entitled Pure Love for Krishna. So in the last couple of sessions, we've been seeing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been converting. Prakashananda Saraswati was a Mayavadi sannyasi, and all of his disciples also got converted into Vaishnavism, into pure devotees of the Lord. And then how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu converted Sarva Bhattacharya, who was an impersonalist. He also got converted into becoming a pure devotee of the Lord. So we just discussed how it is very important to learn from a bona fide spiritual master. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. If we learn from the correct source from the beginning of our spiritual life, then life becomes very easy. You don't have to unlearn and relearn, right? Otherwise, if like we saw here how some Mayavadis got converted, how some impersonalists got converted by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? That's why Advaita Acharya also prayed, Chaitanya Lord Krishna, you have to come on your own, right? The Kali Yuga people are manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyo putrataha, very very difficult to actually preach to this people in the age of Kali, very very difficult. So Krishna, you have to come on your own, you have to personally come, like that. When Advaita Acharya prayed to the Shaligram Shila with Tulasi and Ganga Jal, then Krishna said tathastu, right? Krishna said, okay, I will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So in this way, Lord Krishna appeared in the mood of his most dearest devotee, Srimati Radharani. And now we've been studying the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, to Sanatana Goswami, to Rupa Goswami, and then how he converted the various Mayavadis and Brahmavadis, impersonalists. And finally, we are now on the topic of chapter 29, which is pure love for Krishna, right? So, yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshyat. Why do we practice all of these do's and don'ts, right? Sarve vidhi nishedhyashur etayor eva kinkaraha. All of these rules and regulations that we practice, all of these nishedas, and all of these do's and to-dos and not to-dos, right? We practice niyama and yama, right? We practice them so that we can always remember Krishna. We never forget Krishna. And why do we do that? We want to always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. We can do that only when we develop pure love for Krishna, right? Even in this material world, we always remember people whom we love, isn't it? It's quite natural that we love people, then we always remember them. But unfortunately, we have forgotten our relationship with the Supreme Lord, and that is the reason we have to extraneously do these processes so that we can reawaken our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, right? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udaya. That means we have to, it is already there in our heart, but it is being pressed down. It has become dormant because on top of that we put a lot of other nonsensical things like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, lust, anger, greed, pride, and illusion. That has occupied the heart so much that there is no place. It has become, everything has gone down. It has become dormant, and now it feels like we don't love Krishna. But simply by hearing and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will reawaken this process. We will reawaken. This is the process for reawakening our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to explain in this chapter, how to develop pure love for Krishna. That is chapter number 29. All right. So I find Karpagoli Mataji's hand up already. So yes, Mataji, go ahead. Chapter number 29, pure love for Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Pure love for Krishna. Encouraged by Lord Chaitanya to proceed further, Ramananda Raya said that the fraternal relationship with Lord Krishna is a still higher transcendental position. The reason Ramananda Raya said this is because when the relationship with the Krishna increases in affection, the mood of fear and the consciousness of superiority of the Supreme Lord diminish. At this point, the mood of faithfulness increases, and this faithfulness is called friendship. And in this friendly relationship, there is a sense of equality between Lord Krishna and his friends. In this regard, Ramananda Raya quoted a nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11, which Sukadeva Goswami spoke while describing Lord Krishna's lunch with his friends in the forest. Lord Krishna and his friends had gone to the forest with the cows to play. And it is said in this verse that the boys who accompanied Krishna enjoyed transcendental friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is considered to be the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees in the mood of servitude, and an ordinary human being by common men. Lord Chaitanya appreciated this statement very much yet still he said, you can go even further. Being so requested, Ramananda Raya then stated that the parental relationship with Krishna is still higher transcendental position. When the friendly attitude toward Krishna increases in affection, it develops into the relationship found between parents and their son. Regarding this, Ramananda Raya quoted a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.46. Wherein Maharaja Parikshit inquired from Sukadev Goswami about the magnitude of righteous activity performed by Yasoda, and the mother of Krishna, enabling her to be called mother by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to have him suck her breast. Then Ramananda quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.9.20, in which it is stated that Yasoda, the wife of the cowherd Nanda, received much mercy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is beyond comparison even to the mercy received by the Brahma, the first created living being, or by Lord Shiva, or even by the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who is always situated on the chest of Lord Vishnu. Lord Chaitanya then asked, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So, in this, in our previous, last week's Friday, right? We were reading teachings of Lord Chaitanya in the previous chapter. We saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is inquiring from Ramananda Rai, what is the perfection of life? And Ramananda Rai first said performing Varnashrama Dharma. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is correct, but go further, right? Aur kahe ara, right? You tell more, right? You are in the right direction, but go ahead and tell more. And then Ramananda Rai talks about Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Right? We have to surrender to the Supreme Personality of God. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, perfect, very nice, correct. But please tell more. Okay, and then Ramananda Rai is talking about Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaru. Always remember me, become my devotee, offer obeisances unto me. So in this way, Ramananda Rai says, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, yes. And then Ramananda Rai is being asked to talk more. And Ramananda Rai now is talking about the 5 transcendental relationships, 5 primary rasas that one has with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He starts with, he does not even start with Shanta Rasa. He starts directly with Dasya Rasa. And then he goes on to Sakya Rasa. And then he goes on to Vatsalya Rasa. Right? Now we saw how in the, Krishna is playing with his friends. Right? Krishna is having lunch with his friends. Right? Where there is no air of Aishwarya, right? They don't think, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Let us all take Krishna's Mahaprasadam. No, Krishna and Madhu Mangal would drink the buttermilk, and Krishna will pump his cheeks, and then the buttermilk will flow from Madhu Mangal's mouth and directly into Krishna. Right? We saw that in the Brahma Vimohan Leela. How Brahma was put into illusion. Brahma is a pure devotee, right? That's how he got the position of Brahma. And then Brahma is illusioned by this boy who's taking the juta of another boy. And this person calls himself Supreme Lord. And Brahma gets illusioned. We know how Brahma Vimohan Leela happens. And Krishna creates a whole of the cowherd boys and the calves. And they are there in the cave also in Brahma Loka, and they are also there in the Bhuloka. So in this way, Brahma got bewildered. Brahma then fell down at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. And all of this is Aishwarya Bhav. Right? But never, even once, are the Gopas of Vrindavan, right, who are in the Sakyaras with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if Krishna kills all the demons, right? Krishna killed Arishta Krishna killed Putana, and all of them Krishna is killing. But not once do the Gopas think that, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? They trust Krishna, they're dependent on Krishna, but they don't they don't understand that Krishna is a supreme Lord, because that Sakya Ras is overpowering the Dasya Ras of knowing that Krishna is a supreme Lord, or I have to serve the Lord, offering obeisances, etc. Right, which Arjuna did. Arjuna is also in Sakharas, but when he saw the universal form of the Lord, then he for a momentarily he came down to Dasya Ras. He started offering obeisances, and then he told Krishna, I don't like this. I don't like this form. Show me your four-handed form, and then show me your. It's nice that both of these are running parallel. We were just studying that in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Show me your two-handed form. I want to have that. I want to enjoy that form of Krishna only. Why? Because I can become equal with you. I can play with you. That is a mood that is there. That is also expressed here by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in terms of by Ramananda Rai. In terms of the Sakya Rasa, right? So Dasya, better than that is Sakya, right? And better, higher, I would not say better, but higher than that is this, what is that? Vatsalya Ras. That's what is explained here. Oh, Mother Yashoda, even though Krishna shows the universal form, right? The universal form means that, when Balaram also tells Mother Yashoda that, oh, Krishna has eaten mud, right? And then we also say, Acharyas explain how Krishna says, मैंने ही माखन खायो मैया मोरे मैंने ही माखन खायो. This is मैं नहीं माखन खायो. Then Krishna is saying मैंने ही माखन खायो, right? So in that way, it is Acharya is explained that Krishna is saying I didn't have makhan, and Krishna is also saying I only had makhan, right? So according to how much one can understand, to that extent, devotees can have that kind of relation. Of course, Yashoda Maya wanted to hear that Krishna is telling that he is not eating makhan. So Yashoda Maya is hearing, main nahi makhan khai. I did not have the makhan. And then Yashoda Maya asks Krishna, open your mouth. And in that, the entire Brahmanda is seen, right? And Yashoda Maya is thinking, oh my God, what happened to my little Lala, right? What happened to my son? And then she falls down unconscious. And then she wakes up, and then, she completely forgot that vision of the Brahmanda. She does not for a moment think that, oh, Krishna is my son. Krishna is the supreme Lord. Oh, now he is giving the nice Brahmanda darshan. No, not even for a moment. Does Yashoda Maya think that my son is the supreme Lord? Even when Krishna tells, and Balaram also tells, don't worry, Krishna is the supreme Lord. And then Balaram tells, I am also the Lord. And Yashoda Maya is saying, why is it that all the lords have to come and take birth in my house only? Right? So in this way, Yashoda Maya does not believe that Krishna is the supreme Lord. She even worships the Katyayani, not Katyayani. She worships the Devatas, right? Somehow or the other, oh please, something has happened to Krishna. He's showing something and all in his mouth, right? Please protect him so that he becomes normal, like that. So Yashoda Maya never gets bewildered by the Aishwarya Bhav, right? Because the Madhurya, the sweetness of maternal love is so much that all of the Aishwarya Bhav, how much ever Krishna wants to display, right? Krishna finally agrees. I cannot make Yashoda Maya worship me, right? I'm always in a subordinate position, right? The mother is always in a higher position. The mother loves the child much, much more than the child can ever love the mother, isn't it? And a glimpse of that we can also see in this material world. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, wonderful, very, very wonderful. Now you go higher, right? It does not mean that, the love of Mother Yashoda to Krishna is lower than, say, Radharani's love for Krishna. No. Each and every person, in whatever rasa they have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they think their love is the best for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? That's why even within Madhurya Ras, we all know that Srimati Radharani is supremely most dear to Krishna. At the same time, all of the gopis who were dancing with Krishna, they all thought that Krishna is only looking at me. Krishna is only dancing with me. Right? Krishna expanded into millions of forms. That is the love that Krishna can reciprocate with every one of us. Right? And each one of us would feel that Krishna loves me the most. That is the super reciprocation power that only Lord Sri Krishna can have with all of his devotees. All right. So now Ramananda Rai is going to go on to Madhurya Ras. So let's go ahead and read it. Yeah, who will read? Yeah, Deval Mataji. Go ahead. Lord Chaitanya then asked Ramananda Rai.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Lord Chaitanya then asked Ramananda Rai to proceed further in order to come to the point of conjugal love. Understanding the mind of Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda Rai immediately answered that it was indeed conjugal love with Krishna that constituted the highest relationship. In other words, one's intimate relationship with Krishna develops from an ordinary conception of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the conception of master and servant. And when this becomes confidential, it develops into a friendly relationship. And when this relationship further develops, it becomes parental. And when this develops to the highest point of complete love and affection, it is known as conjugal love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ramananda Rai then quoted another verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 47th chapter, 60th verse, which states that the transcendental mode of ecstasy exhibited during the Rasa dance between the gopis and Krishna was never relished even by the goddess of fortune, who is always situated on the chest of the Lord in the spiritual kingdom. And what to speak of the experience of ordinary women. Ramananda Rai then explained the gradual process by which pure love for Krishna is developed. He pointed out that the relationship a living entity has with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any of the modes of affection is just suitable for him. Still, there are higher and lower relationships. A relationship with the Supreme Lord begins with the master and servant relationship and further develops into friendship, parental love, and conjugal love. One who is situated in this particular relationship, in his particular relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is in the best relationship for him. But when we study these different flavors of transcendental taste in relationship with the Supreme Lord, we can see that the neutral stage of realization, Brahma Bhuta, is the first stage, and that the stage of accepting the Lord as master and oneself as his servant is better. That the conception of oneself as the Lord's friend is even more developed. That a parental relationship with the Lord is of a still superior quality, and that conjugal love is the supreme relationship with the Lord. In other words, self realization with a sense of servitude for the Lord is certainly transcendental. But when a sense of fraternity is added, the relationship develops. And as affection increases, this relationship develops into parenthood and conjugal love. Ramananda Rai then quoted a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, 2nd canto, 5th chapter, 30th verse, stating that the spiritual affection for the Supreme Lord is transcendental in all cases, but that the individual devotee has a specific aptitude for a particular relationship, and that relationship is more relishable for him than the others. Such transcendental relationship. Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Dandavat pranam. So, very beautifully, like we discussed, every relationship that a person has with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he thinks that this relationship is the best relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not that a person in Vatsalya Ras aspires to move to Madhurya Ras. No. Although it is said that a higher level of ecstasy is experienced, every devotee experiences ecstasy in his own relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is because the Lord reciprocates with the devotee in such a way that the devotee feels himself so special. The devotee feels that the Lord loves me the most, right? And that is only possible for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Because generally, when we try to please, that's why we say that we cannot please the so many koti devatas, right? We cannot please so many koti of devatas because each of them like different things and we cannot become like them, right? But Krishna can please all of the, the koti, I mean, there are so many living entities, right? Brahmande Brahmite Kona, right? So many universes are there, so many living entities are there. When each one of us perfect our life and go back, Krishna is able to reciprocate with individually with each one of us with the particular kind of mellow that we want to experience with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever rasa we want to experience with the Lord reciprocates in that particular rasa with us. Right? So that is why the rasas are not comparable in terms of this is better rasa than that is better rasa. Whatever rasa we experience with the Lord, right? Our sthai bhava, whatever is our constitutional position, in that constitutional position, we will have thoroughly pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then one basic underlining principle in all of this rasas is that there is servitude. The devotee never considers that I am enjoying with Krishna. Of course, the devotee enjoys with Krishna. Right? Whom else can the devotee enjoy with, right? The devotee just enjoy with Krishna, but there is always the seva bhava. The Lord is always trying to please the devotees, and devotees are always trying to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the service attitude is predominant right from the time of Shraddha, where we have little bit of service attitude. We try to develop that service attitude. And when we become pure devotees of the Lord, when we become Raga Anuga Bhaktas, we can never become Ragatmika Bhaktas, right? Yashoda Maya, Shrimati Radharani, the Gopis of Vrindavan, they're all Ragatmika Bhaktas. They can never forget that I have to always eternally serve Krishna, right? But we have forgetful souls. We are Nitya Baddha. But still Krishna gives us an opportunity to perfect our lives. And when we go back home, back to Godhead, right? then what happens? We will be eternally satisfied by the relationship that we have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And once we go back, right, Krishna says such a person will never come back. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So once we realize that the futility of being in this material world, the futility of trying to enjoy independently, we finally realize that I am supposed to serve the Supreme Lord. And then when I perfect my life and come back to Godhead, I will never come back to this material world. And whatever relationship I have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I will know and I will feel, and it is genuinely so, that is the best relationship for me with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no better comparison with anything else even in the spiritual world, right? That's why even in the spiritual world, we maintain our identity, we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we are eternally satisfied. Ye yayatma suprasidati savibumsam parodharma yato bhakti radokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. We are eternally, completely satisfied with whatever rasa we have. That is why devotees, they don't need to go back to the spiritual world to have this rasa with the Lord, right? The devotees who come down, the acharyas who come down to take us back home, back to Godhead, they experience those rasas even in this material world. Srila Prabhupada experienced those rasas even in this material world, but Prabhupada did not show it. Prabhupada did not show it. But in the last pastimes of Prabhupada, we see how Prabhupada was having darshan of Radha and Krishna, and tears were streaming down his eyes, right? Prabhupada controlled his emotions, right? So it's not necessary for pure devotees to go back home, only then they experience the rasas. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ashlishyava padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotuva yata tathava vidadatu lampato mat prananathastu sa evana para. Whether you are hugging me, whether you are embracing me, or you're sending me somewhere else for some seva, for your pleasure, I am willing to go anywhere and everywhere, and simply I am satisfied by. But mama janmani shure bhavatat bhakti rahitukitve. But you have to promise me, Krishna, that I always remember you, I never forget you, always engage in your devotional service. If you promise me that I am willing to go to any part of the world, whether heaven or hellish planets, but I simply want to serve you life after life. So that is why, because why do devotees pray like that? Why do pure devotees pray like that? Because pure devotees experience that bhava, experience that prema wherever they are, whether they are in association with the Lord or whether they are in separation with the Lord. In fact, Vipralamba is even more relishable for a pure devotee than even Sambhoga Seva, right? So in this way, that is the mood of the pure devotee of the Lord. That wherever I am, I simply want to serve you, and if you are satisfied, I am satisfied, right? That is the mood of a pure devotee of the Lord. And those are the Ragatmika Bhaktas that we're talking about in this chapter. And what is the hope for us? Our hope is we can become Raganuga Bhakta. We can also develop such spontaneous affection for the Lord. We can also develop such spontaneous service attitude for the Lord. Keeping I aside, I'm going to keep Krishna in the center. And we can also experience Padma Patra Ivambasa. We can also experience being transcendental, even being in this material world, by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga. All right, let's move ahead. Rajneesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, yes.
Such transcendental relationships with the Supreme Lord cannot be manufactured by the mental concoctions of the pseudo devotees. In this connection, Rupa Goswami has stated in his Bhakti Rasa 1.2.1 that devotional service which makes no reference to the Vedic scriptures and which does not follow the principles set forth therein can never be approved. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj has also remarked that professional spiritual masters, professional Bhagavatam reciters, professional Kirtana performers, and those engaged in devotional service according to their own mental concoctions cannot be accepted. In India, there are various professional communities known as Ola, Bola, Karta Bhaja, Meda, Darvasa, Darvesa, Thani, Ativadi,
Sudhari, Gauranga Nagari.
Sudhadhari, and Gaurang Nagari. A member of the Venture Goswami Society or the caste called Goswami. cannot be accepted as a descendant of six original Goswamis, nor can so-called devotees who manufacture songs about Lord Chaitanya, nor those who are professional priests or paid reciters be accepted. One who does not follow the principles of Pancharatra, or one who is an impersonalist or addicted to sex life cannot be compared with those who have dedicated their lives to service of Krishna. A pure devotee who is always engaged in Krishna consciousness can sacrifice everything for service of the Lord, whether following the principles of householder life, householder life, or those of the renounced life in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a pure devotee who has dedicated his life to the service of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, and the spiritual master cannot be compared with when
Hare
one is
Krishna. Thank
free.
you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So very, very important here that we are not going to imitate, right? We know the symptoms, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada so mercifully tell us what are the symptoms of a person who has attained Krishna Prema, right? Tears flowing down from the eyes, hair standing on the end, etc. But we are not going to imitate such symptoms, right? Devotees, pure devotees will not, in fact, they hide such symptoms. They will get such symptoms. They are hiding such symptoms. Why? Because that is affecting their service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? If tears are flowing down from the eyes, then how will you serve the Lord, right? Your tears will all fall down on the Lord, isn't it? That's why pure devotees say, I don't want to experience any transcendental symptoms if that is going to be an obstruction in my service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Even what is that? Okay, I was just about to say something. Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah. So these symptoms naturally arise in a devotee, but a devotee does not artificially try to project such symptoms to show to the world that, oh, I am a great devotee. Look, tears are flowing down from my eyes, right? In fact, the devotee does just the opposite, right? When we see somebody is thinking, oh, yesterday I danced with Krishna, or yesterday I saw Krishna in my dream. Oh, this Krishna told me to do this and all that, right? With due respects, we are not able to understand whether they are genuine or not, right? Our level is not so much. We are not criticizing them. They may be pure devotees of the Lord who are expressing their symptoms, right? But I, in my stage of sadhana bhakti, are not able to decipher whether it is true or false. So we just offer obeisances, but we don't interact with such people because we are not able to decipher. Because if they are not genuinely experiencing that, and we are continuously interacting with them, then we will lose a little bit of bhakti that we have. Also, we will lose. Right? So when we are not in a stage to properly decipher who is saying what and not able to understand properly, that's why Prabhupada said, do not interact even with my God brothers, right? Because at that time, in that neophyte stage, it's not possible for us to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good for me, what should I take. So Prabhupada said, stick to my books, read my books, hear my lectures, and go and repeat whatever I'm saying, right? So Prabhupada knew the level of each of the people and advise them accordingly, right now our situation is very clear, right? At least for myself, I can say very clearly, I don't know if somebody is exhibiting the bhava and prema symptoms. I don't know whether it is genuine or not. So what do? I simply offer obeisances, right? Maybe this person is a pure devotee of the Lord. I offer my obeisances. Even if that person is not yet a pure devotee of the Lord, right? I still offer my obeisances, but I stay away because I don't know whether it is genuine or not. Because I don't want to artificially get into these kind of symptoms and get dragged away from the path of Pancharatrika Bhakti, right? Narada Pancharatra, Narada Muni himself has written, Narada Muni is a pure devotee of the Lord who gives Bhakti Shakti to everybody, whether somebody is in a Tamoguna, Rajoguna or Sattva-guna, right? Whether it is Mrigari, the hunter, who is in complete ignorance, or whether it is Dhruv Maharaj, who was completely passionate to get a kingdom which was even bigger than his great-grandfather, or whether it is Prahlad Maharaj, who was a pure devotee in the womb of his mother. Whether or not as a person is Tamasik, Rajasik, or Sattvic, Narada Muni is able to give pure bhakti. And even Narada Muni has prescribed Pancharatra. Pancharatra Vidhi Vidhan, right? That means what? We have to follow the rules and regulations being in sadhana bhakti. We are not thinking that, okay, now I will worship Krishna whenever I want to, I will dance with Krishna, right? Not at the sadhana bhakti level, right? Even the pure devotees of the Lord who are Raganuga Bhaktas, even they don't display these symptoms that I danced with Krishna. Right? Prabhupada tells in one lecture, even the Shad Goswamis of Vrindavan who are pure devotees of the Lord, what are they saying? He Radhe Vraja Devi ke chalalite, He Nanda Shunu Kutaha. Where are you, Radha Krishna? I want to serve you. That is what they are saying. They didn't say that they stay in different trees. In every night they stay in a different tree because they are seeing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in every tree of Vrindavan. But they are not saying, yesterday I saw Radha and Krishna perform this pastime. What are they saying? Right? They are saying, oh Radha Krishna, where are you? Let me serve you. That is the mood of a devotee. A devotee never glorifies himself that I am able to see. Right? Even in Madhavendra Puri's pastime we see. Immediately left the place. When Lord Krishna hid that kheer, and everybody was coming, oh, this is the devotee whom Krishna had stolen the kheer for. Immediately left for Jagannath Puri from Ramuna. Isn't it? So that is the mood of a devotee. He does not want name, fame, glory for himself. Krishna, by his causeless mercy, if he does some reciprocation, a devotee wants to hold it so tightly in his heart, does not want to give it off to others, does not want to show it off to others, right? Then it becomes very cheap that everybody thinks that, oh, if anybody who does the symptoms, such a person is a pure devotee, right? So what do we have to do as sadhana bhaktas? If somebody exhibits such symptoms, then we offer obeisances, but we stay away. We follow those our Guru Maharaj, our disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who have shown us the way, and they have told us, right? Prabhupada has told us, follow the 4 regulative principles, chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I will take you back home, back to Godhead. We will experience those symptoms, but we don't want to artificially imitate and make a cheap thing out of it. Right? We simply follow the instructions. And Prabhupada makes a very important point here. Right? We are not going to show others that this is the relationship that I have with Krishna. Right? How is a devotee identified? A devotee is identified by how much he is able to sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord. How much he goes out of his way to please the Lord, either by preaching services or by deity worship or by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Right? Whatever be the situation, if a devotee is able to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, not give up his duty, right? Whether Sanatana Dharma as well as Swadharma, right? That's why Varnashrama system also, Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, that is correct. That is very important. We are not going to give up all our duties and go to Vrindavan and simply dance, right? That is not our aukad, right? At least it's not my aukad. So what I have to do, I am a woman, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I am a mother-in-law, I am a daughter-in-law, whatever be my position, right? So what am I supposed to do? I am supposed to perform my Swadharma for the pleasure of the Lord, not being attached to the results, performing my Sanatana Dharma, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra during Brahma Muhurta every day, studying Srila Prabhupada's books, hearing the lectures of authorized acharyas, right? By this, I want to develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And rather, I would not want to imitate and make this entire process cheap, right? I spent a lot of time here, but this is very, very important, right? How do I know I'm advancing in devotional service? Not when I'm getting these transcendental, not when I'm getting this crying of the tears, right? The other day I was mentioning, right? Before I came to Krishna consciousness, every Friday I used to watch a movie. When I go and watch the movie, I'll be crying. Then now I know that even some days when Krishna gives me taste and someday or the other, some or the other, even when tears come, I know I'm a very emotional person. I can cry at the drop of a hat. I have cried even in Bollywood movies, isn't it? So if I'm progressing and I'm really getting genuine symptoms, then I should be grateful to the Lord, right? And that should increase my determination. That should increase my enthusiasm to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? If at all I'm getting tears are rolling down from my eyes, right, when I'm chanting Hare Krishna, then I should be extremely grateful to the Lord for giving that little bit of taste. And in that mode, I should want to chant more rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is how I show my gratitude to Guru and Gauranga. So that is the mode of a devotee. All right, let's move ahead. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. When one is freed.
Hare Krishna,
Pranams Mataji.
Hare Srila Prabhupada. When one is freed from all material contaminations, any one of the relationships with Krishna is transcendentally eligible. Unfortunately, those who are inexperienced in the transcendental science cannot appreciate the different relationships with the Supreme Lord. They think that all such relationships arise from Maya. The author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita has given a nice example concerning these relationships. He points out that earth, water, fire, air, and ether, the 5 gross elements, develop from subtle forms to grosser forms. For example, sound is found in the ether. But in the air, there is both the sound and the touch. In fire, there is sound, touch, and form as well. And in the water, there is sound, touch, form, and taste. Finally, in earth, there is sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Just as the various characteristics increase in the progression from ether to earth, so the 5 characteristics of devotion increase with each relationship until all 5 are found in the relationship of conjugal love. Thus, the relationship with Krishna in conjugal love is accepted as the highest perfectional state of love of God. In this connection, Lord Krishna says to the damsels of Vraja in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.82.44, devotional service to me is the life of every living entity. Indeed, your love for me is the only cause of achieving my association. It is said that Lord Krishna, in his relationship with his devotees, accepts all kinds of devotional service and then reciprocates according to the devotee's attitude. If one wants a relationship with Krishna as a master and servant, Krishna plays a part of the perfect master. For one who wants Krishna as a son in the parental relationship, Krishna plays a part of a perfect son. Similarly, if the devotee wants to worship Krishna in conjugal love, Krishna perfectly plays a part of a husband or a paramour. However, Krishna has admitted that his loving relationship with the damsels of Vraja in conjugal love is the highest perfectional stage. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.32.22, Krishna told the gopis, Na paraye ham niravadya samyujam स्वसाधु कृत्यं विबुधायुषापि वः यामा भजन् दुर्जय गेह शृङ्खलाः संवृश्य तद्वः प्रतियातु sadhuna. My dear gopis, your relationship with me is completely transcendental, and it is not possible for me to offer anything in exchange for your love. Even after many births, you have given up all attachment for material enjoyment, and you have searched after me. Since I am unable to repay your love, kindly be pleased with your own activities. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja has remarked that there is a class of common men who claim that anyone and everyone can worship the Supreme Lord according to his own invented mode of worship and still attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They claim that one can approach the Supreme Lord either through fruitive activities, speculative knowledge, meditation, or austerity, and that any one of these methods will enable one to reach the perfectional stage. They generally give the example that just as a place may be reached by one of the many different paths, so the Supreme Absolute Truth may be worshipped either as Goddess Kali or Goddess Durga or Lord Shiva, Ganesha, Rama, Hari, or Brahma. In short, they maintain that it does not matter how the Absolute Truth is addressed, for all names are one and the same. They give the example of a man with many names. If he is called by any of those names, he will answer.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, in this connection, Prabhupada says in his lecture, right, how Krishna tells this pure devotees, right, be satisfied with your own activities, right? Because the process itself, that's why in Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita also, susukam kartum avyayam, right? The devotee is already pleased by serving the Lord, that even if there is no reciprocation from the Lord, although Krishna is saying, I'm not able to reciprocate, Krishna reciprocates much more than what the devotee can, because it is said that in the transcendental competition between the Lord and the devotee, the Lord always wins because he is the supreme Lord, isn't it? Right? That's why Madhavi Tripuri, he wanted to run away. I don't want name, fame, glory. But his name, fame, and glory reached Jagannath Puri even before he himself reached. Right? So a devotee wants to run away from name, fame, glory, but the Lord ensures, right, that whatever the devotee, whether if the devotee will not feel proud getting name, fame, glory, then Lord will give the name, fame, glory. But if the Lord thinks that this devotee, if he gets name, fame, and glory, then he will start thinking too much about himself. He will start becoming proud. Then Krishna will not give that devotee. So whatever is good for that devotee to become more and more Krishna conscious, to be able to remember more and more of Krishna, to become more and more grateful to the Lord. That is what Krishna will do. And when Krishna wants to do that, right, nobody, even the purest devotee of the Lord, right, cannot do anything because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So in this way, Prabhupada explains in that lecture, and even here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is stating that, be satisfied with your love for Krishna, right? Because Krishna himself is expressing that I'm not able to reciprocate adequately, right? And that is why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, isn't it? Krishna was thinking that Srimati Radharani is serving me so nicely. She is serving me and I am supposed to enjoy her service. I am enjoying, but she seems to be getting more pleasure than me. right? So let me come in the mood of Srimati Radharani to actually understand what is the pleasure she is deriving from seva. So very clearly, the devotee who renders service is able to get more pleasure than the Lord himself who is being served, right? So that is a very nice thing for us also to note, that in serving others, right? We actually heard in one of the lectures how in wanting to give respect to others, we can always be blissful, right? Because who can stop us from giving respect? If I want to offer obeisances to every devotee of the Lord, right, entire day in the temple, can anybody say, hey, why are you offering obeisances? But if I'm standing there, I want obeisances from everybody. Can I force somebody, hey, you offer obeisance, you offer obeisance? I'll be miserable, isn't it? In wanting to give respect to others, I can always be blissful. But in wanting to be respected by others, I will always be miserable, right? In wanting to give respect to others, I will always be blissful. In wanting respect from others, I will always be miserable. In wanting to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead and love the other devotees, I will always be blissful. In wanting to be loved, oh, why this person does not like me? Why this person? In wanting to be loved by others, right? We have to do something, then only others can love us, right? So let us focus on what we can do, how we can serve others, right? Rather than wanting to be loved by others, right? In this world, for the same situation, there are 100 reasons why we can be grateful for a particular situation. And in the same situation, there can be 100 reasons why we can complain. Why this is going wrong? Why am I not getting this? Why? And if we choose gratitude, we will always be blissful. If we choose to complain, we will always be miserable, right? So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also saying here that simply by loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, simply by wanting to please Guru and Gauranga, we will feel bliss, right? It is not necessary that. That is why even in the spiritual life, even if we don't, like for example, I'm having this class, right? Say nobody joins this class. Then what happens? It is materially, it is a, say I'm conducting a yoga class, for example, right? And nobody attends a yoga class. Then what is it? It is a complete failure, right? Because I want 10 people to do gymnastics with me and reduce the weight, but nobody finds Medhavini is not at all good. First of all, you reduce your weight. What you are conducting yoga class? See, nobody joins. Okay, then what happens? The endeavor is a failure because nobody turned up in the class, isn't it? But if this Bhagavad Gita class, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya class, assuming okay, there are 18 devotees who are there, right? But if nobody attends the class also, if I just continue reading, the translation and purport, and I explain to myself, right? Then what happens? It is still successful. Why? Because by my endeavor, I am trying to please Guru and Gauranga. So the actual material result does not really matter. That is what Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Bikramanaashosti Pratyavayona Vidyate. If I am completing until 50%, that means if I have awakened 50% love for the Lord, I will continue from 51%. And my human form of life is also given intact for me in my next life. Prabhupada, Krishna promises that, right? Those who engage in devotional service, at least a minimum of human form of life is assured, right? Depending on how much we practice, either we are born in a Vaishnava family or we are born in a Brahminical family, right? Somewhere or the other, we will get the opportunity to continue from where we left off, right? So that is the advantage of performing spiritual activities. Whether it is materially, it is perceived as a success or as a failure does not really matter. Right? I was giving this example. Like we recently celebrated Harinam Prabhu's 50th birthday at home. They've invited a lot of Vaishnavas, right? Many Vaishnavas turned up, right? Whoever is in Bombay, they all came up, even from our online audience, right? They all came. It was a mega success, right? Say, nobody turned up for that particular, that Ayush Homam and whatever we had conducted, right? In the evening, we had Gaur Aarti, then we had distribution of Prasadam. Nobody came. Then also, what would have happened, right? We would have distributed the Prasadam to, the watchman or whoever is there around, right? We would have distributed Krishna Prasadam anyways. We would have anyway done Gaur Aarti. We would have anyway done chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We would have anyway done Yajna, the Ayush Homam and Dhanvantri Yajna. And that is for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, isn't it? So that would have been a success even if nobody turned up, right? But say I do a birthday party. I invite all my friends, and then we are going to some outside place, and we've ordered a lot of cool drink and biryani and all that. Okay, without onion garlic also. Say nobody turns up, right? Even if somebody comes up, it is useless. But even if nobody turns up, then what is it? The birthday party is a failure. Nobody turned up. There is wastage of food, right? Because even if I distribute that to everybody, it is not going to benefit. But if I am distributing Krishna Prasadam, it is going to benefit the other person. So even if nobody comes and it is getting distributed, still it is benefiting the person who is actually taking and honoring Krishna Prasadam. Even if nobody comes, what are we doing here? We are doing for the pleasure of the Lord, right? So our success is not determined by whether my senses get satisfied. I am very happy. All my friends came for the birthday party. Whose senses are satisfied? My senses. If my senses are satisfied, in the next minute, I may completely turn upside down. Why? Because my senses are, my mind is like that, right? Sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's sad. The same situation, sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, right? They are also recollecting the example of samosa, right? The same samosa is there, but if I get a bad news that I have probably not got the promotion that I wanted, the same delicious hot samosa which was giving me pleasure 1 second back, now with the same samosa, I don't want to eat it. I want to keep it down. I want to wonder why that person who does not work at all in the office, why that person has got the promotion and why I have not got the promotion. I'm not going to relish the samosa, right? So I may be very happy with some things, but a change of situation, a change of a minute, right? The same situation may turn not so good for me, right? So in this way, when I try to titillate my senses, satisfy my senses, I can never be blissful. But if I try to please the senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate, then what happens? Every situation, whether or not materially successful or not, is successful because Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, because it has been done for the purpose of satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that was about be pleased with your own activities, right? Because activity itself is so pleasing to the Lord that it automatically gives bliss to the person who is doing it. The next paragraph, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is actually saying that, we should not think that, whether I try to please Ganesha, I try to please Lord Muruga, I try to please Brahma, I try to please Shiva, and all of us will be pleased. No, they will not be pleased. Shiva will be pleased only when we worship Lord Vishnu. Shiva will be more pleased if we worship Vaishnavas. And every Vaishnava thinks that I am not the Vaishnava. Everybody else is a Vaishnava. And Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatashambhu. He is the greatest of the Vaishnavas. Right? So he is saying, Aradhanam api sarvesham Vishnur Aradhanam param tasmat paratram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Right? So we can worship the Vaishnavas of the Lord, Vaishnavas who are the devotees of the Lord, but because of their connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are not worshipping Shiva, thinking that, oh, Shiva will give me a good husband, handsome husband. That means what? Sense gratification is on top of my mind, right? So Shiva will be happy, and Shiva guided also a person to Sanatana Goswami, right? To give pure bhakti, right? So we can worship the Vaishnavas, asking them that I want love for Krishna. That's why gopis worship of Katyayani Devi, although she is a Devi, she is a Devata, right? She is a demigoddess, right? Yet the worship of the gopis of Katyayani Devi is still considered topmost. Why? What did they worship for? They worshipped to get Lord Sri Krishna as the husband, the opportunity to serve Krishna, right? So in this way, we can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and whatever the Lord gives, that is enough for me, right? If the Lord is giving me any material job that I want or a promotion that I want, if Krishna is giving me, I pray to Krishna, oh Krishna, give me, right? I don't artificially try to, hide it. They're saying that I'm a pure devotee, I don't have any material desires. If I have any material desires, I will worship only Krishna. If Krishna gives me, then fine. Thank you, Krishna, and I continue with devotional service. If Krishna does not give me, thank you, Krishna, maybe it's not good for me, I will continue my devotional service. That is the attitude of a devotee. But if I have no material desires, I only want Krishna, then I can worship the Vaishnavas, I can worship Lord Shiva, but my only desire should be, oh Krishna, oh Lord Shiva, please give me your devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. That is my only prayer to any of the Devatas. Right? That's what it is here. All right, let's move forward. Okay, let's complete this chapter. It's 143. Yeah, I think we will complete this. Nagaveni Mataji, please go ahead and read. Such mentally concocted views. Yeah. What is this concocted?
Dandavat Pranam.
And once again, Mataji. So what is this mentally concocted view that we are talking here? This mentally concocted view is, I worship Shiva, I worship Brahma, I worship Ganesha, I worship Kartikeya, and I will still get love of Godhead. No, It depends on what you are praying, right? So that is the mentally concocted view. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Such mentally concocted views may be very pleasing in an ordinary person, but they are full of they are full of
misconceptions concerning transcendental life. Okay, Nadhani Mataji, I will, do you have a copy of the book or?
नहीं, book close हो गया माताजी, page हवा से, sorry.
ठीक है माताजी, आप अनुषा, I will ask Anusha Mataji to read because you're not able to read. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Anusha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavats.
Such mentally concocted views may be very pleasing to an ordinary person, but they are full of misconceptions concerning transcendental life. One who worships the demigods out of material lust cannot attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although the external energy of the Lord may award such a worshipper some material results. Krishna discourages demigod worship in Bhagavad Gita 7.23. Mataji, can you please read it?
Yeah. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedasam devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Thus, the Supreme Lord awards the benediction of his association only to those who worship him and not to those who worship the demigods. It is not a fact that everyone and anyone can reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead by worshipping material demigods. It is therefore surprising that a man can imagine that he will become perfect by worshipping the demigods. The results of devotional service rendered in full Krishna consciousness cannot be compared to the results of demigod worship, fruitive activity, or mental speculation. The result of fruitive activity is that one can go to the heavenly planets or one can go to hell. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Prabhupada says, "A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna." We can worship the demigods. We can satisfy the demigods. Even that is difficult in this age of Kali, isn't it? In Kali Yuga, where is the ghee? Where is the pure ghee and where is the pure rules and regulations are able to follow? Right? We are manda sumanda matayo. Whatever we are doing, it's all full of faults. Right? So one thing is very difficult to even please the demigods. So we will not even get what we want. Secondly, even if we please them and go to their planets, Brahma Bona Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. We'll exhaust the credits after enjoying with the demigods in the heavenly planets, and then we come back to the material world, and then again we are subject to birth, death, disease, and old age. Right? So, what does an intelligent person do? Yajnair Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedasaha. Right? So instead of worshipping the demigods, which is anyway mentioned as Yajantihi Avidhi Purvakam, it is not the correct way of doing. Right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita very clearly. So why to tread a path which will ultimately not lead to our benefit? Right? It's going to give us a temporary benefit as much as getting a promotion. Right? And after some time, we want even more promotion. We want even more salary. We will never be satisfied with it, and everything will die with the body, isn't it? So why should we work so hard for something that is very temporary, that is not going to give us eternal satisfaction? Rather, we can utilize all of those efforts in actually developing our love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by which we can be eternally happy and transcendental, and such benefit is also eternal. Right? Krishna says, Yad Gatvana Nivartante Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. We will go back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or we will go back wherever we are. We will be eternally engaged in the service of the Lord, and in that way we will eternally remain blissful. And with that, we come to the end of chapter number 29. I thank you all for your patient attention. We have 3 more chapters. So we will, after completing the 3 more chapters of teachings of Lord Chaitanya, then we will move on to Krishna book. Like I mentioned, please do join the festival group. 19th August, 26th August, 27th August. They are all wonderful festivals coming up. Balaram Purnima, Krishna Janmashtami, and Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. All 3 are very, very important to us. Adi Guru's appearance, Jagat Guru's appearance, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead's appearance. Right? All coming in line. So please join the festival group. I was thinking, we will meditate on one Vaishnava bhajan a week. We have 5 weeks left. We are talking about August. We are now in July. So 5 Vaishnava bhajans, like Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, Jai Vrindavan, like that. So 5 Vaishnava bhajans, we will meditate one a week, wherein we go through the mood of the acharyas. So these are the acharyas' desires that they're expressing in these Vaishnava songs. Right? In this way, we will try to prepare our consciousness for the upcoming big festivals, most important festivals for a Gaudiya Vaishnava. So please do join us. And of course, as we go, we have Gaur Purnima, we have Nityananda Triyodashi. Those are also most important festivals for a devotee. But we will now focus on the upcoming festivals, which is Balaram Purnima and Shri Krishna Janmashtami and Srila Prabhupada Vyasa Puja. Right? So in this way, please do join the festival group, and we will continue with chapter number 30 tomorrow. Right? Tomorrow is Thursday. We'll try to see if we can complete this week, or we will complete next week, and we will start with Krishna book. That's what is the plan. So let's see how it materializes by the grace of Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much. Devotees can switch on your cameras. I can already see some of the devotees, but we'll do Harinam Sankirtan, and then we will see who are all there until the end of the session. Almost, it's not yet 2. We still have 5 minutes. So we'll do 3 minutes Kirtan and 2 minutes darshan of all the devotees. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pratharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Satyachari Shodharine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Priya Dvaita Radhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Bala Gopal Jaya Shaliram Srila Hayagriva Shaliram Srila Gopali Shaliram Srila Gurmadi Shaliram Srila Lakshmana Singha Shaliram Srila Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Prahlad Narsinga Jaya Guru Ayurappa Jaya Rukmini Vidhal Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Guru Deva Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Shri Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Kaliga Patita Pavan Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai, Kaliga Patita Pavan Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Samved Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. So I have Shobha Mataji, Karpagavali Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Harjit Mataji, Rajneesh Prabhu, Shubhangi Keshavi Mataji, Vanmali Prabhu, Madhureshwari Radha Mataji, Munimala Mataji, Anusha Mataji, Anjana Mataji. Thank you all very, very much for staying till the end of the session, although we went over time. My sincere gratitude to all of you. Thank you all very, very much for joining in every day. Because of all of you, we're able to study Srila Prabhupada's books in a very nice way for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock for Brahma Murta chanting session. I'm posting every day in the daily sadhana groups, right? I'm seeing very few devotees reporting on a daily basis. Please do report on a daily basis. Please report on your hearing and your chanting. Of course, please do join us in the morning and hearing and studying Srila Prabhupada's books. Right? All of this facilitates us performing Mangala Arati. Very, very important. All of this will help us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with focus, with dedication, with sincerity, with enthusiasm, with determination. If you want to chant Hare Krishna properly with focus and determination, we need to study Srila Prabhupada's books. We need to hear Srila Prabhupada's lectures, or join us in our TLC session. Join us for our Bhagavad Gita session. We are reading from Prabhupada's books. We are trying to discuss Prabhupada's words, and that will facilitate us. And please perform Mangala Arati at least. Very, very important. So that we can develop taste in chanting Hare Krishna. Right? All of this will facilitate us to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So no hands up. I believe everything was very clear, or I believe so. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki Jai.